Hello students, I am Ashrit sir once again back to discuss about the properties, the physical properties of nitric acid. Till now we discussed the laboratory preparation and the industrial preparation of nitric acid. What is the industrial preparation named? Ostwald's process. Okay. Now we'll discuss the physical properties. What is the color? As we discussed earlier, pure nitric acid is colorless. Understood? But commercial nitric acid, which is yellow in color. Why? As we discussed earlier, during the preparation of nitric acid, yellow color is imparted due to the release of nitrogen dioxide when nitric acid decomposes. Clear? Now, what is the order? The choking order. Nitric acid is having a choking order. Clear? The test. Do you know what is the test of nitric acid? Don't test ever, as it is acid. Being an acid, it has a sour test. It has a sour test. Now we'll discuss the boiling point and melting point. Just remember, dilute nitric acid, which is 68% at a constant distillation, we are getting the temperature is 120.5 degree. But fuming nitric acid, which is 98% concentrated, which is having the boiling point 86 degree centigrade. These two are the boiling points. But it freezes to a white solid when we cool it down below 0 degree centigrade. It gives a white solid. Okay. Now physiological, it's an interesting one question may come based on this. What is the action of nitric acid on the skin? So just go through. It has a corrosive action on skin. It reacts with the proteins of our skin and forms a yellow compound. What is that? Xanthoprotic acid. Okay. So when a nitric acid falls on your skin, the skin becomes yellow. Clear? Now we will discuss the most important part of chemical properties. See, nitric acid, there are several equations are there to discuss. You have to remember all the details, the chemical equations, and what the changes occur during the reactions. So chemical properties of nitric acid is the stability. What is the stability of nitric acid? It is unstable. It is unstable at room temperature, and even in presence of sunlight or light, it is unstable. Why? It decomposes to liberate nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. So at room temperature or when in presence of light, nitric acid breaks down to water, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. Clear? Then we'll discuss what is the role of nitric acid with the common indicators. What are the common indicators? We always take the litmus paper, which changes from blue to red as it is acid. Methyl orange changes from orange to pink, and alkaline phenolphthalein, it is important to remember, alkaline phenolphthalein changes from pink to colorless. Understood? Now we will discuss the acidic nature of nitric acid. What is that? When it dissolves in water or its dilute solution, it produces H3O plus and NO3 minus. What is this H3O plus? It is hydronium ion. Can you recall? Hydronium ion in dot structure. Okay. Now what is the equation? HNO3 plus H2O gives H3O plus HNO3. Due to the liberation of H3O plus, HNO3 is acidic in nature. Clear? Then with active metals, what is the role of nitric acid? Generally dilute nitric acid, most important, generally dilute nitric acid doesn't liberate hydrogen gas with metals, but HNO3 has a strong oxidizing property when only react with magnesium and manganese, which produces hydrogen gas. So the equation is Mg plus HNO3, it is dilute Clear? Dilute. When reacts, it gives magnesium nitrate plus hydrogen gas, and manganese with dilute nitric acid gives manganese nitrate plus hydrogen gas. Now we'll discuss the reaction with oxides and hydroxides. What are they? So nitric acid neutralizes to form salt and water. Why? Oxides and hydroxides are the bases. So an acid, nitric acid, when reacts with oxides and hydroxides, it produces salt and water. Clear? So calcium oxide, we will take an example. Calcium oxide, when treated with nitric acid, calcium nitrate and water. Clear? Then zinc oxide reacts with nitric acid, it gives zinc nitrate and water. Similarly, in hydroxide we can take sodium hydroxide plus nitric acid gives sodium nitrate and water. Now we will go to the reaction with carbonates, metallic carbonates and bicarbonates. What happens, as we discussed in case of HCl also, when metallic carbonates and bicarbonates react with any acid, it produces carbon dioxide gas. It produces carbon dioxide gas. So what happens? Na2CO3 plus HNO3. Similarly, again it produces NaNO3, H2O and CO2. HCO3, what is this? Potassium hydrogen carbonate or potassium bicarbonate, you can say. When react with HNO3, it produces potassium nitrate, water and carbon dioxide gas. So when carbonates and bicarbonates react with nitric acid, it produces carbon dioxide gas, is in case of HCl also. Now we'll discuss with sulfides and bisulfides. What is the reaction? As we discussed earlier, in case of HCl also, it produces sulfur dioxide gas. So for example, we can take K2SO3 plus 2HNO3. It gives 2KNO3 plus H2O plus SO2. Another is NaHSO3. What is this? Sodium hydrogen sulfide or sodium bisulfide. Plus HNO3, it gives NaNO3, H2O and SO2. So when sulfides and bisulfides react with nitric acid, it produces sulfur dioxide. Okay. Then how you will identify? We discussed earlier also how you will identify carbon dioxide gas and sulfur dioxide gas. To distinguish these two gases, as you know, these two gases turn lime water milky, also turns lime water milky. Sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide turns lime water milky, sulfur dioxide turns lime water milky. Then what is the difference? Carbon dioxide doesn't have any effect on acidified potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7, doesn't affect the acidified potassium dichromate. But sulfur dioxide, it turns acidified potassium dichromate from orange to green. Okay, the color changes from orange to green. Another test is also there, the potassium permanganate solution. What is that? KMnO4 solution. Here no effect on acidified potassium dichromate, and KMnO4 solution also doesn't affect carbon dioxide. But here the pink color changes to colorless or discolorizes KMnO4 solution. Clear? Now we'll discuss the reaction with sulfides. What happens? Earlier also we discussed the same type of reaction with acids. Sulfides, when nitric acid reacts with metallic sulfides, it produces hydrogen sulfide gas. What is the smell? Rotten smell. So for example, we'll take HNO3 plus FeS, it gives FeNO3 whole 2 plus H2S gas. So to identify this H2S gas, in every cases, we'll see first the rotten smell. Then it turns moist blue litmus to red. Why? Because the acidic nature of H2S. Then turns lead acetate paper silvery black. It is most important to remember, H2S gas turns lead acetate paper silvery black. Okay. Now we'll discuss with the reaction with bleaching powder. What is this? The chemical formula of bleaching powder is CaOCl Cl or CaOCl2. So when it reacts with nitric acid, it produces chlorine gas. When it reacts with nitric acid, it produces chlorine gas. The reaction says CaOCl2 plus 2HNO3, it gives calcium nitrate, water and chlorine gas. So how you will identify this chlorine gas? It is greenish yellow color gas and turns blue litmus paper to red. Why? Because chlorine is acidic in nature, but when it is continuously supplied or came in contact with the litmus paper, then it turns to white as it has a strong bleaching agent. It is a strong bleaching agent. Now we'll discuss very important topic, oxidizing properties of nitric acid. What is that? Nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. You have to remember, nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. It gives readily nascent oxygen both in case of dilute and concentrated conditions. So what happens? How it dissociates? In case of concentrated nitric acid, it dissociates to water, nitrogen dioxide and nascent oxygen. This square bracket I put oxygen, it is nascent oxygen. In case of dilute nitric acid, it produces water, nitric oxide and nascent oxygen. So you have to remember, concentrated nitric acid produces nitrogen dioxide and dilute nitric acid produces nitric oxide along with nascent oxygen. Now we will discuss this nascent oxygen. The oxidizing property of nitric acid is because of this nascent oxygen. Now how it reacts? The oxidation of compounds with showing reducing property. The compound which is having the reducing property like FeSO4, then hydroiodic acid or hydrogen sulfide, like this, some compounds which are having the reducing property, when react with this nitric acid, what happens? For example, we'll take acidified ferrous sulfate. What happens? Acidified means ferrous sulfate when mixed with what? Sulfuric acid. Concentrated nitric acid is reacting, then it forms ferric sulfate, Fe2SO4 plus water plus NO2. Clear? Because concentrated nitric acid we are treating, so definitely NO2 will be releasing. Then in case of dilute case of nitric acid, FeSO4 plus 3H2SO4, it gives the same product, Fe2SO4 plus water, but NO is produced because it is dilute nitric acid. Then another reducing agent we will discuss, hydroiodic acid, which changes to iodine when treated with nitric acid. How? 2HNO3 plus 2HI gives H2O, NO2, I2. Why NO2? Because it is concentrated nitric acid. Again repeating, because of the concentrated nitric acid which dissociate to produce NO2. Clear? Now in case of dilute nitric acid, as we discussed, it produces NO. Clear? It converts to iodine. Okay. Now another reducing agent we will discuss, hydrogen sulfide, which changes to sulfur. How? This concentrated nitric acid, what I have written here, when react with H2S, it produces water, nitrogen dioxide and sulfur. Similarly, dilute nitric acid, when treated with H2S, it produces water, NO and sulfur. Understood? So another is sulfur dioxide oxidized to sulfuric acid. How? When concentrated nitric acid treated with sulfur dioxide, it produces H2SO4. Most important, sulfur dioxide when treated with nitric acid, either concentrated or dilute, it produces sulfuric acid. Along with that, NO2 because it is concentrated, and NO, it is diluted because it is diluted nitric acid. So both the cases, sulfuric acid is forming when sulfur dioxide is oxidized to sulfuric acid, when nitric acid is treated, either concentrated or dilute condition. Now another discussion is the oxidizing property with the non-metals. The oxidizing property of nitric acid. When nitric acid reacts with the non-metals, what happens? Dilute nitric acid, the important is dilute nitric acid has no action on non-metals. Keep it in mind. Dilute nitric acid has no action on non-metals. Hot concentrated nitric acid is nitric acid oxidizes the non-metal. Okay, so sulfur is oxidized to sulfuric acid. And previously also we discussed sulfur dioxide is also oxidized to sulfuric acid. Now the equation says S plus 6HNO3 gives H2SO4, H2O and NO2. Why NO2? Because it is concentrated. Clear? Similarly, carbon is oxidized to carbon dioxide. Sulfur oxidizes to sulfuric acid. Carbon oxidizes to carbon dioxide plus water and NO2. Clear? Phosphorus is also oxidized to orthophosphoric acid. What is this? See the equation, P plus 5HNO3 gives H3PO4. It is orthophosphoric acid plus water plus NO2 is produced. Okay, this is the discussion, the oxidizing property of with non-metals when nitric acid reacts with non-metals. Now we will see that the oxidizing property of nitric acid when treated with the metals. Okay, see, active metals very vigorously they react with nitric acid to produce hydrogen gases, but less active metals like copper, what happens? Copper with dilute nitric acid, it forms, as we discussed earlier, NO, dilute NO with copper nitrate. But when concentrated nitric acid, when we are treating, it produces copper nitrate, water and NO2. Don't forget to write this compound, don't forget. Okay, or else the equation is totally wrong. Understood? So here how many equations we are going through, you have to remember and practice different equations. Okay, so what happens when copper is treated with concentrated nitric acid? Okay, what happens when copper is treated with dilute nitric acid? Okay, like this. Little bit more active metals when react with nitric acid, like the metals like zinc and iron, what happens? Zinc treated with cold dilute, hot dilute and concentrated. Three different equations are there. What are they? When zinc is treated with cold dilute nitric acid, what happens? Zinc nitrate is formed. Ammonium nitrate is formed with water. It is most important. Ammonium nitrate when cold dilute nitric acid is treated with zinc. Then zinc when treated with hot dilute nitric acid, it produces as usual, not as usual, N2O, nitrous oxide. N2O is nitrous oxide along with ZnNO3 whole 2 plus water. But in case of concentrated nitric acid, what happens? As usual, nitrogen dioxide. So the difference is when cold and dilute nitric acid, zinc produces ammonium nitrate. Zinc when treated with hot dilute nitric acid, it produces nitrous oxide. It produces nitrous oxide. And when it is treated with concentrated nitric acid, it produces nitrogen dioxide. Clear? It produces nitrogen dioxide. Similarly, another metal we will take, iron. When dilute nitric acid, it produces as usual FeNO3 whole 2 and water and nitric oxide. Because it is dilute, it is concentrated. When we are treating with iron, it produces NO2. Clear? Now we will discuss what happens the oxidizing property with organic compounds. The process is called nitration. Nitration means the organic compound NO2 is attached to the organic compound. What happens? Suppose C6H6 we have taken. When concentrated nitric acid is treated, In presence of concentrated sulfuric acid, it happens only one hydrogen will be removed to produce water and C6H5NO2 is formed, that is nitro. Okay, the process is called nitration. Then another interesting reaction is with concentrated HCl. What happens when concentrated nitric acid and concentrated HCl are mixed in a ratio of 1:3? The mixture is called aquaresia. The mixture is called aquaresia. It is the solvent. It is the solvent for noble metals. Keep it in mind. Not noble gases, noble metals. It is the solvent. Why we are telling it is a solvent? When HCl reacts with nitric acid, both are concentrated, 3 part of concentrated HCl and 1 part of concentrated nitric acid mixed, it produces NOCl. What is this? Nitrosyl chloride. Nitrosyl chloride with this, what is this? Nascent chlorine. Clear? Nascent chlorine. This nascent chlorine works or helps to dissolve the noble metals. What are the noble metals? Generally we take it gold, platinum, sometimes silver. Okay, so when gold is treated 3 nascent chlorine, it gives gold chloride AuCl3 and platinum chloride PtCl4. So this became the solvent to dissolve the noble metals to remove the impurities. Okay, so what is the solvent? Which is the solvent? Aquaresia. How aquaresia is formed? When concentrated nitric acid 1 part and 3 parts of concentrated hydrochloric acid is mixed. Okay, now we'll go for the test of nitric acid. Heating effect. On heating, nitric acid gives reddish brown fumes of nitrogen dioxide. You know it very well. So the equation says like this. You have to remember the equation. Then another is the with the copper turnings. When concentrated nitric acid heating with copper turnings, it gives again the brown fumes of nitrogen dioxide. The equation is like this. Okay, so this is the brown fume. Okay, now brown ring test. What is this? This is another test to identify HNO3. How? The freshly prepared FeSO4 ferrous sulfate is added to dilute nitric acid in a test tube. Then concentrated sulfuric acid is poured very carefully along the side of the test tube. Then slowly, when you pass the concentrated sulfuric acid after the mixture, a dark brown ring is formed at the juncture of 2 layers. This is called brown ring test and the equation is like this. So FeSO4, H2SO4, HNO3 gives ferric sulfate, water and NO. This NO again reacts with FeSO4. It gives hydrated nitrosoferrous sulfate. Hydrated nitrosoferrous sulfate. Okay. Now what are the uses of nitric acid? There are so many uses are there for nitric acid, but important is it is used for preparing or production of explosives like TNT and pickling of stainless steels to remove the stains, purification of gold, silver, platinum, and so many uses are there for nitric acid. You can go through the textbook. Okay, thank you children.